What's going on, everybody? KSA Kris here, Real Estate Blitz, continuing on with the six-figure agent program. And today we're going to talk about time blocks, time blocks, time blocks, time blocks, time blocks. Okay, I cannot express this enough. Time blocks, you should be living and dying by time blocks every day. It's the first thing I do at the beginning of the week. It's the last thing I do at every day. Every day I do it. So what is a time block? A time block is basically setting aside a specific amount of time throughout the day where you're violently protecting that time. Nothing interferes with that time block. So if I decide that I'm going to set aside a time block to sit down and make cold calls, nothing interferes with my time block to make cold calls. All I'm doing is focused on nothing but cold calling during that period of time I've designated. Okay, what I personally do, and now here's the thing, I started learning about time blocks probably, it's been about two and a half years now. I started learning about time blocks back then, and it sucked, and I struggled, and it was just a nightmare to try to put together the time blocks and actually stick to them. This is what I'm going to tell you. You're going to go through the same thing. You're going to go through the same thing. You're going to start time blocks. It's going to suck. It's because it's not natural. It's not natural for a person to sit there and say, I'm going to be just like single-minded in my purpose on this one specific thing for a set amount of time. And this is where it gets tricky. But I'm going to do that for my entire day. I'm going to be single-minded on specific tasks through the entire day. We're trained and taught as children to basically multitask. I would even say, as the world has adjusted and it's become more wrapped around technology, we multitask more than ever. More than ever. In fact, people don't even realize sometimes. I don't even realize it. I'm sitting there, I'm minding my own business. I have this little block. There's something going on. Next thing you know, I'm looking at Facebook. I'm checking my messages, and I'm eating up time into something that I could be spending more productive. Now, I'm going to talk in the next video about 95% of your energy and what you should be doing with it, but I want to talk about time blocks first. So this is what you're going to do. As we continue to progress, you're going to start adding time blocks. I'm going to pull up my calendar here. And I'm going to walk you through my time blocks as well, so you can actually physically hear kind of what I do. Now, here's the thing. Before I leave for the weekend, today's Saturday, just so you know, so I'm into work right now on Saturday. I had some work that I want to do for clients. We have a lot of homes that we listed this month. So I'm just like scrambling right now, and I got a bunch of homes still to come on. But I usually will end my, whenever I end my weekend, which I usually work 6 days a week, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do my time blocks. I did my time blocks yesterday because I knew today I wanted to come in, and I scheduled it. Today I want to come in and focus on other things. I want to do a video, and I wanted to go ahead and take care of some client stuff. But I sit down at the end of every week and I time block the next week. So in the Marine Corps, they called it the plan of the day. It used to trip me out when I first started learning about the plan of the day. So when I would show up at work, this is the whole point. You knew from 07:30 until 16:30 exactly what was supposed to be happening for that entire day. The plan of the day for the day that I showed up was actually done the previous day. Now, this is what I learned in the Marine Corps with the plan of the day. The plan of the day is always going to change. It does adjust. You want to try not to adjust it as much as possible, but things come up. You need to treat your time blocks the same exact way. So I started at the end of the week. I do it for the entire next week, right? After I'm done with the entire next week, every day at the end of the day, I'm going to check the time block for the next day. I'm going to be scheduling my plan of the day. And you have to understand, you're going to be flexible, but don't get lost. There's certain non-negotiables. My mornings are non-negotiable, always. So, example, on Monday, I kick off the gym at 06. So I'm at the gym from 6 o'clock until 7:30. At 7:30, I'm heading here to the office. And from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, I'm making cold calls. From 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I'm doing social media. From 11 o'clock to 11:30, I'm doing blitz work, which is this. And then from 11:30 to 12:30, I'm doing client work. I always leave my afternoons open, and that's for appointments, okay? I'm going to say this again, I always leave my afternoons open for appointments. I always leave my afternoons open for appointments. I do my appointments at the same time every time, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So whenever I'm talking to somebody, I don't even think about it. Would 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock be good for you? I always do my listing appointments at that time. It is non-negotiable. Prospecting is the first thing I do every day. I do my appointments in the afternoon. Well, I have a client that wants to do a showing at 10 o'clock. There's nothing wrong with being flexible on occasion. However, this is what I've seen. Somebody's here, they're on the six-figure agent program, they're working, 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 they get a massive pipeline, and next thing you know, all of their showings are in the morning. And then the afternoon comes and they aren't prospecting. And as those deals start to close, guess what? They have to start all over. Don't allow yourself to start all over. Now, what happens if I don't have appointments that pop up in the afternoon? That's fine. I just build in the rest of my stuff. So right after that, if I don't have an appointment, I'm going to go to chow. After chow, I'm going to come back. I'm going to knock down my direct mail. After my direct mail, I rinse and repeat. I go right back to all of my other prospecting stuff. Or I could choose to go out and go door knocking. There's a lot of things that I could build in, but my afternoons are my flex time. The mornings are non-negotiable, and I always write in my time blocks. So you have to time block. Sit down as you start learning the stuff, start creating time blocks, and understand that those are specific, single-minded activities that you're going to do from a designated time, start and finish time, where you're not going to allow anything else, whether it's your phone, whether it's a phone call, whether it's social media, whether it's an appointment or anything else, disturb that specific block. That's all I got for you today. Appreciate it, and look forward to speaking tomorrow. Bye.